Sometimes films get bad reviews from critics, hated by the general public, or tank at the box office. But if you like the film, then it automatically becomes... These are in no particular order and are completely random. So first up is Snitch, starring Dwayne Johnson. One of the first films that he did where he actually didn't go by The Rock. I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson, hence the shirt. And in the 2013 thriller, he showed for the first time that he can act his butt off. The film also stars Jon Bernthal from Walking Dead fame, now the Punisher, and he is fantastic as well. Dwayne Johnson is an underappreciated talent because I think he's a good actor. Next up in bald-headed muscular guys and underrated films, we have Riddick, the third film in the Riddick franchise, first being Pitch Black, second being Chronicles of Riddick, and the third being Riddick. I would say Pitch Black is underrated, but I guess it did well enough critically and financially to gain 2 sequels. But this one is underrated to me because it did not do well financially and received mediocre reviews. But I found it to be a very personal and fun action-packed take on the character of Riddick. I also have a poster of it right there. And next up on muscular bald-headed guys and underrated feature films is Faster. Faster is a rare film that mostly received negative reviews and did really bad at the box office, which I really don't understand why, because I think it's a lot of fun. It has some great action, great car chase sequences, pretty well directed actually, and another awesome performance from Dwayne Johnson, where he doesn't smile at all, which is really rare. And yeah, it sucks when Dwayne Johnson doesn't smile, when sometimes life doesn't give us what we want. Alright, let's see what we got next. Oh, it's The Rover. The Rover is a pretty slow-paced, slow-burn film, but Robert Pattinson gives a great performance in my opinion, honestly. And the use of Pretty Girl Rock by Carrie Hilson is awesome. Check out The Rover if you haven't seen it. Next up is Warrior. Now, I was almost didn't put this on just because it got really good critical reviews and like everybody talks about how it's underrated. So, but it bombed. So, why don't you take a bite out of Peach or take a bite out of Wild at Heart? Underrated David Lynch film. And if you did not understand what I just said, it's a quote from the movie, so check it out. And next up on muscular ball-headed guys and underrated films is Pain and Gain. I talked about it once before in another video, but I'm going to talk about it again because I think it's underrated. It did pretty good financially, but critics didn't like it, and the politically correct nation hated it because it made light of a real-life murder, which is bad. But that shouldn't let you turn a blind eye to what is pretty decent filmmaking, actually. And next up on underrated films about cats is Cat in the Hat. And this isn't even a joke. I actually like this movie, like, sincerely. I think that people took it way too seriously for some reason. I know it made like a lot of money. It made like $100 million in domestic box office alone. I'm not sure about foreign. But I mean, I think it's at 10% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I'm obviously in the very minute minority. But I can't help it. I mean, this film makes me laugh. I don't know if it's ironically making me laugh or just sincerely making me laugh. The filmmaker could have been doing it on purpose, or it could just be a complete abortion of filmmaking. But either way, I enjoy it. Steve Jobs is the most recent film on my list, but I find this really underrated already. It was not nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars or Best Screenplay by Aaron Sorkin. It was nominated for 2. It was Michael Fassbender for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress for Kate Winslet. Neither of them won. That's neither here nor there, though. Because I just think this was a pretty misunderstood film. People thought it was going to be a real biography about Steve Jobs, but it's a fiction film. None of it really happened. It's all overblown. but I still think it's a piece of great filmmaking. Next up on Bald-Headed Muscular Guy starring in underrated films is Bronson, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, starring Tom Hardy. Great film, great visuals, great acting. Check it out. Burn After Reading was a 2008 comedy by the Coen brothers. It got pretty decent reviews, didn't do very well financially, and I think it's underappreciated. Cheap Thrills is a little independent film that came out a few years back that nobody really talks about, and I thought was a lot of fun and a great dark comedy. The Voices is an independent dark comedy that is extremely morbid and makes light of murder, but it does it in all the best ways and has a great performance from Ryan Reynolds. Alright, time to get the next Blu-ray. And it's Get the Gringo, an underrated action film starring Mel Gibson that reminded me very much of Lethal Weapon. And Mel Gibson wears a Best Buy sticker the whole movie. Alright, next one up is kind of a weird one, but it is, drumroll please, Magic Mike XXL, a film about male stripping. While the first one was more of a drama, this one is not that. But granted, I still had a lot of fun with this film, if you know what I mean. Alright, so this one's probably the most different one that will be on my list. But it is Batman The Dark Knight Returns Deluxe Edition, because technically it's 2 parts, but I got it with both parts morphed into one. This is obviously the cartoon rendition of the very famous Frank Miller comic, The Dark Knight Returns, and it's a very faithful adaptation with great voice acting, great animation, and it's all around really solid film. Alright, and up next we got... wait a minute. What's that noise? What the... Oh! Oh! It's The Drop. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a fun 2004 action film starring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and has great comedy and great action, all you could ask for in a film. Also, we have Beowulf. It's CG with real people at the same time, but is a lot of fun and is a great fantasy adventure. We're getting to the last of the bunch. The Last Stand is a fun, action-packed Arnold Schwarzenegger film. I think it was actually the first one that he did out of retirement. So, not too shabby, Arnold. Can you smell what Hercules is cooking? Hey, look at this guy over here. Now look back at me. The Wolverine. 2013. An incredible superhero film. But let me show you this cool packaging first. Check it out. You open it like a samurai box. Then you pull it out. Oh my god. Alright. Look at this. It's like, where are we going with this? Wait a minute. Where are my Blu-rays? Where's what I paid for? Oh. I got 4 of them. That's a lot. Oh, we're not done. What else is in here? Trading cards. And the last film I shall be talking about on this video is Noah. No one liked this movie. Noah was received pretty well by critics. It even did pretty well financially, but the general opinion of moviegoers alike, they didn't care for it. Noah's different. It's a different film, and it's a different take on the Bible, and people don't like different takes on Christianity, which is fine, but in my opinion, Noah is a masterpiece. But, of course,
that's my opinion!
And that's it. Those are my opinions on underrated films.